never fake it. My people. It's been a long time coming. I spent a long time running, grinding, and finding it's harder every day. Go deep into the mind of an overthinker, sitting on the brink of something new, made for a chosen few. Man, I'm tired of working for fish and chips. I'm trying to get paid.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to We Are Who Your Ancestors Waited For. And we have another wonderful guest, Mr. Clyde Richards, CEO of Afri Management. As the brother King likes to say, this isn't just a talk show. This is a show where we highlight people who are actually doing things for our people. And we like to start our show off with introductions and always start with the guest. So go ahead, Brother Clyde, and introduce yourself to the world and tell them your background and where you came from and everything.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, good night, depends on where you are. I'm Clyde Richards, and I'm the CEO of Afri Management Solutions. I'll tell you about it in a little bit. But I was born in a little place called Trenchtown in Kingston, Jamaica. I've been residing in the USA for something like 34 years now, right? And I've traveled a lot. I've been around the world, on my own accord. And over the years, I get to learn a lot. So I've seen in my mind where the best thing for our people right now is to focus on our root. There's a lot of branches around, but I'm not really concerned about that. I'm concerned about the root right now. So that's why I'm here. I've been with me and King Fazan. We've been actually, in contact for probably 2 years now, or pretty close to that. And one thing I always stress is that I'm not here to just keep talking. I'm not a talker. You'll realize that I suck at talking. I'm here to make a difference, in my capacity. I want to make sure that there's something that's beneficial to my people, and that's what I want to put my energy into. So, we've been looking around to try to do stuff. There's some friends in Sierra Leone that as we go around, I'll let you know more about this. But there's some friends in Sierra Leone who are really, really positive about seeing a change in their whole economy and their whole society. And I try to step in as best as I can, because right now I think at my age, I think we're the leaders right now. We are. If nobody put forth the effort at our age right now, nobody else will, right? So I stepped in the best I can, and I really want to make something work. I really want to see miracles. So that's what I'm about, and hopefully we can talk about that some more during the show. Thank you.
Oh, no, you're good. That was a great introduction. Go ahead and introduce yourself as always, Brother King.
Yes. Hello, everyone. For those of you who have been following our show from day one, if you know me by now, my name is King Fazan Ajo, your brother in the struggle, and I'm a co-host of this very powerful show. And the reason why I love to identify with this title of being a co-host of this show is that it embraces everything that I am trying so hard to be, bringing a light to my people, and also like being a voice to for my people. So over the period of time, we have been able to bring on this show powerful people who their impact is being voiced out there to people who do not even know, because most of the times we hear people saying that, what are we doing? We're just talking. The other day, I presented Professor Molumba and the other guy here in South Africa, and Mr. Timothy said something, and he said, "No, King, this is not a talk show. This is a doers show. So these people that you bring in here, these people that talk a lot, but I have not seen one thing that they have done. And that was like, whoa, like we're doing something that is bigger than just talking. And I am super glad to be part of it. And I just wish that as we continue with this, the people who are really doing something, our people get to know them. We should begin to celebrate our real heroes rather than all of this, what do you call them? Uh, uh, uh,
Leverage.
yeah, all of these talkers, they are not our heroes. And so even today, we are glad to bring you one of our heroes. And as he opened his mouth to begin to say the things that he's doing, you that are watching, you agree with us that this is the reason why we bring people like this on the show. And our determination is not to stop until our generation begin to appreciate people who are really doing something for our society. I look forward having a wonderful show as we proceed to the next stage of this show. I remain your brother in the struggle, King Fazanajo.
Well, this is great to have Brother Clyde on. It makes it a real powerful show for the fact that he's a natural bred Jamaican. And we're all from 3 different continents. You know, he's from Jamaica, you're from Africa, and I'm from America. And he spoke about the roots. All Jamaicans are interested in the roots. I haven't met one Jamaican that was not particular about our roots and knowing that our roots go all the way back to Africa. You know? And I spent a lot of time with Jamaicans. One of my best friends became a Jamaican for years, you know, and I got to learn a lot. He was actually from Kingston as well, you know, and I learned there's a huge difference between Kingston and Montego Bay, you know, and there's part of Jamaica's you can't go to, you know, so yeah, you know, man, you think Africa's bad, man, like you go to parts of Jamaica, you probably won't make it back. Ain't that right, Brother Clyde?
Hey, everywhere in the world we got stuff like that, you know. But yeah, you're right. There's places in Jamaica that I would really go.
Yeah, so this just by us being like I say, he's from Jamaica, you're from Africa, and I'm from America. People are able to learn a lot from us 3 in this brain session that we're putting together today. So one of the other things that he was talking about was he doesn't like to talk. You know, he likes to do. I'm the same way. And always refer things back to the Bible. So a lot of people don't know why God gave God gave Moses Aaron to speak. You know, they think Moses was the speaker. Moses wasn't the speaker. God gave Moses Aaron because Moses didn't want to speak. He had a speech impediment like me. I have a speech impediment. I have a lisp when I talk, so I never like to talk, you know. And so that's why I'm happy to have a brother like King Fajan as a co-host. So because I understand things like that, and so by me not liking to talk, I was always wanting to do with my hands or do things to show people like, look, I don't want you to listen to me talk. I want you to see what I'm doing. You know? And I became accustomed to that, trying to prove myself by doing things. And that's what we need to teach our youth, man. Because they already say one thing about blacks, not just black, you know, just the whole black race from Africa, Jamaica, no matter where we at, they say we talk too damn much. And so
Yeah.
I always like to share that with our people. Like, we just talk way too damn much. And why I love this show, we are who our ancestors waited for, because this is not a talk show. This is to highlight people who are actually doing something. Like you said, brother, these are the real heroes amongst our people. You know, we like to celebrate celebrities. And again, as I go back to the Bible, we don't even understand where the term celebrity and heroes come from. You know, And over here, how they give the celebrities these and false heroes awards and stuff like that. Don't you know in the Bible when the sons of God had sex with the daughters of men, that created the flood. That's why it flooded for like 40 days. But what people always miss is that when the sons of God had sex with the daughters of men, they were called heroes of old. They were called men of renown. They were like celebrity figures and stuff like that. And that's what created the flood. So they got us over here celebrating people who they know we shouldn't be celebrating. America really knows what they're doing. So one of the things that we were talking about earlier is about the African farmers and how we need to connect our African farmers with the brothers and sisters over here in America. And so I know that you know a lot of African farmers over there in South Africa, King, and I wanted you to speak on that aspect so that Brother Clyde can know what you and I have been speaking on in the past, how we're already doing that work of trying to unify our people through agriculture. So go ahead and speak about the African farmers, and so over there that you know in South Africa, so that the world can know we can share this with our people over here in America, Brother King.
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Timothy. And Mr. Clyde is very aware of the massive opportunity of farming. And before I go any further, I want anybody watching to understand the lies that the world has told most people about Africa, especially those that are not on African continent. Number one, the map of Africa is not even our true map. It's not a true representation of Africa. Africa is bigger than the map that you see. In fact, Africa is big to a point that you can take the whole of North and South America, Europe, put in here, and there will be still so much space. And in fact, there is a national game reserve in South Africa called the Kruger National Park. The Kruger National Park alone is bigger than the whole of England. And so we just want people to understand that the land that Africa has is just so massive, and it is fertile all over. It is the land is fertile in agriculture. The land is so much full with mineral resources and all of that. Now, the population of Africa is 1.3 billion people. The population of India is more than the whole Africa put together. The population of China is more than the whole Africa put together. Now, the question remains that if Africa has this so much agricultural land and so much mineral resources, why is it that Africans are hungry? Africans are so poor. Africans are looked upon with the eyes of pity rather than the eyes of envy. If we have all of this, the answer to this is that there is a difference between having something and owning something. It's not the same thing. You can have, but it will not be your own. So that is the reality of Africa. Let me explain it. For example, if we come to South Africa, where I am, 10% of people own 90% of the land. And 90% of people own the 10% of the land. And this is whereby people like Clyde understand this, that this is what is happening in Africa. And the only person that can actually change that, I remember we had a guest here. I've forgotten the name of this man, but he spoke about Haiti, what they're organizing in Haiti, and he was talking of how they want to actually come into Africa and help the Black people on the continent own what they have. So now the agricultural land is so much, but most of our people, they do not have the capability of doing the farm. So most of our farmers are just peasant farmers. Like, for example, my father, who died in 2022, he was a farmer his whole life, but then the farm was just on the very peasant level, that we will use small hoes and big hoes to just cultivate ourselves. There is much that you can do if your farming is not mechanized. And these people, they cannot afford even one machine to do that. They cannot afford one machine to cultivate the land. So those who actually have the resources to do that are people that do not even look like us. And because they have the resources to do that, they now own everything. The biggest farms of all, those farms belongs to them. So this is the struggle of Africa from Cape to Cairo. Our reality is just the same. If I talk for South Africa, it's the same thing that is happening in Nigeria. It's the same thing that will be happening in Sierra Leone. So the major concern here is how are we going to own what we have? How are we going to own what we have? Because if we are not able to mechanize our own form of farming, it doesn't matter how big the land is. People who have the mechanized form of farming will always benefit from the land more than us, that the land is supposed to belong to us. So this is the reality of Africa in the North Shore.
Before I allow you to respond to that, Brother Clyde, I want, while you was talking, I was thinking of how I always tell Africans, how they say there's power in the name. And we know Africa isn't the original name of Africa. It was actually a European name. A European man named Africa. His name was African Scorpionus or something like that. Scorpiana Africa, one of the two. But it's just like, say, like the Webster Dictionary. When you say we have it, but we don't own it. It's like we can have a Webster Dictionary, but we don't actually own the Webster Dictionary. They're the ones who printed it and gave it to us. So by us calling it Africa, Nigeria, all these different Europeans and Arabic names, that right there is telling us we don't own it. They do. They the ones who own it. They the ones who gave us the name. They colonized it, and so it's in their possession. And like I like to say, like, now our people is possessed 2 times over. They're possessed by these Europeans owning the land, and they're possessed by worshiping the white man more than we love our brothers and sisters in Africa. That's the type of psychological possession, like you're possessed by the devil, the way you worship in this European and thinking this European is Jesus or God. So that's why they say there's power in the name, but we don't even get it. Even speaking their tongue, speaking in their language and stuff, that's a whole, like, takes us back to the dark ages and keep us mentally enslaved. Even it's not just our people. What I learned is everywhere that the Europeans colonized people take pride in speaking English. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Like in Mexico, where they speak Spanish at, they say, like, if you could speak English, like, you could be a mayor, you could be a president. I'm like, that's crazy. All behind speaking English. That's a psychological trick that they pulled on people's minds when they colonized us. And so what Brother Clyde was telling me earlier was about when they start taking land back from the colonizers in South Africa. And so we were talking about how I read an article where now America's talking about punishing the Africans in South Africa for taking their land back. All this is like devilish acts, man. So we got to realize that it's like we're not dealing with normal human beings. It's like they're actually acting like a devil race, the way that they're trying to hold our people down and keep our people from feeding their children, because that's all they're doing. They're not allowing our people to feed their children, and that's not right. Brother Clyde, go ahead and tell them more about what our plans are and what you've been doing with the Afri Management, because that's real important what you're doing, and we want people to know that we're all going to be working together to fix these type of issues.
Hey, thank you so much. Well, yeah, let me go into our organization, Afri Management, right? So we're searching for something to do, and that's how I got to meet King Fazan, right? And we was with a group, and I'm like, okay, I'm not here to talk. I'm here to act. It's no talking for me. I keep my mouth closed as long as something is going on. But my attention turned to Sierra Leone when some of them youngsters that came in our group, and I see the fire. You know what I mean? In their eyes, they want it. They want it, and that's the best way to break through. When somebody want it. So I kind of pivoted to them, and you know, I'm asking them, what can I do? What can I do? And they're like, there's a lot of things to do. I'm like, agriculture. There's land. We got land more than we got trees. We got land. We got land. And so these youngsters, 20 years old, 30 years old, all in between that, they went onto the chiefs on the land and talked to them. And basically what I was impressed with, it's basically all the chiefs was really supportive and saying, hey, we're about progress. And that's what we want to do. So we went and we make a deal with the chiefs. Hey, let us do the land, right? And in return, we'll cut you in on a percentage, right? And even more than that, we'll hold back some cash, to help with your infrastructure. Might be water, it might be sewage. We haven't got there yet. It might be electricity. I've been an electrician since I was like 18 years old on paper, right? So I'm like, we got to do something. And in probably a week, we had in our position over 6,000 acres of land. Not to own the land, because we don't want to go in a conflict with the brothers and sisters on the continent. We want to make sure we have a separation to know, well, what we're about. We're about to have a mutual benefit. The land is there, and if we use the land, we can both benefit off the land. You can't afford the equipments like King just talked about, the mechanism. So with my salary here and my 3 other partners, we could put the money together without feeling too much of a pain and start off buying some equipment. So that's what we did. So we right now we cultivating rice, but because of the financial constraint, we probably only have a bit shy of 300 acres on the cultivation right now. We're supposed to be harvested in, they say, around late November to early December, right? With rice, the norm is you can expect around 7,000 pounds per acre. And when you calculate that with a couple of hundred, it will pass a million pounds, right? Which to me is compared to the amount of money we put in, because we don't have to purchase the land. It's miraculous, you know what I mean? Because your return is is way, it overshadows your input by far, right? And then there's ways we can do to even make it even better, because, and just, you know, to give you a little details about that particular commodity. The most expensive part of cultivating rice, and I for a reason I'm going to say this, is fertilizer and rice seeds. That probably take up about 80% of the input costs, right? Well, I've been doing a lot of research, and I realized that we don't need to purchase fertilizer, and we don't need to purchase rice if we have a if we have a place to to prepare it, to grow the rice seeds. You know, you don't need to purchase it. You keep rejuvenate your rice seeds, right? And instead of using that synthetic fertilizer, which is expensive, rice grows in water and fish grows in water. And naturally, fish will eat insects and stuff like that, so you don't have to use chemicals to insecticides. And the fish will eat the insects, and the excrement will serve as fertilizer. So that's a beneficial bond. And just to think, if you just have like 100 acres of land, you know, in our case, it's over 6,000, and you got 100 acres of fish, catfish, tilapia, whatever grown in that water, how much more you're going to put value to your product, right? So that's our concept for our next grow, to put more value to the product, right? But when it comes down to it, it's just us. We are able to purchase a little hand push tractors better than people cutting it with their hand. We're able to purchase a rice mill that mills 1,000 pounds of rice per hour, but because that's just what we can do, right? So I see where it's necessary, because it is beneficial in terms of like returns. So I'm seeing, hey, if I can do this, what can we do? You know what I mean? What can we do? The slogan in Sierra Leone is "Feed Sierra Leone." If I can do this, Sierra Leone with us could be feeding us and be feeding everybody else also easily. They're sitting on 8 million acres of land, not doing anything. It's not worth it. Now you have all these companies coming in, Corning and all these companies coming to manipulate the agriculture in Africa. It's not necessary. That's our responsibility, right? And if we can step in and do this, there's, especially if we was to be the spearhead on this side of the world, the USA, Jamaica, the Caribbean, South America, Brazil, and who is gonna fight us? Who could possibly fight us about Africa? Who's gonna tell us, hey, you can't do this, you can't do that? Nobody. No, we don't care. We don't care about whose land it is if it's not our brothers and sisters. We don't care. It don't affect us. You can't tell me that you're able to take me up, right, from all I own and put me somewhere else and take what I got, and then you benefit off it, and then you fight me over it. It don't work like that. You know what I mean? We need to realize what we have, right? And we need to go and take what we got, right? The people in Sierra Leone, one thing they say to me, and these are youth, we have to survive. We don't see you, we see them. But we have to survive. So we gotta relinquish, we gotta back off and let them do so we can survive. We want to see you though. I've been shown love in Sierra Leone more than I would ever imagine, in terms of like, hey, come on, you gotta support. Will support whatever you do. I've seen love. I got messages on my WhatsApp. Mr. Richards, Mr. Clyde, we appreciate you. We love you. And these stuff bring tears to my heart. You know what I mean? When a brother from Africa can send me a personal message and say, I love you. Thank you. It means so much to me. I think it means a lot to me, more than he can even dream of, right? So and I don't want to just go on and on, but one thing I run into, and I realize it's going to be a brick wall, right? And it's not even a brick wall, it's actually an opportunity. As I say, it need us to make it work, right? Not just us on this side of the world, but us there too, on the continent. And like, for example, I have friends that owns Walmart. They don't own Walmart per se, but they own shares in Walmart, right? They trust whoever in Walmart to take their money and as a part of their investment in that company and build it up for them, right? Which is cool. But when Walmart does that, they get enough money to make their investment, you know, to run their company, because we trust them with their money, right? Now, Africa have so much more than what Walmart can offer. So much more. And we need to have some infrastructure well, it's not just my opinion, it's a fact. We need an infrastructure, a simple way where you don't have to be in South Africa to invest in South Africa. And we're not talking about rich people to invest. You can be in Malawi, you know what I mean? And from an app, this farmer in Ethiopia have a farm, and he said, well, I got 2,000 acres and we can do this, we can make this off it. And I'm like, okay, I want some of that too, right? And when we get that ease of getting involved, right, without even being there, without imposing on anybody to say, hey, I want a piece of your land, or you got to do this, or you got to. But when we have that choice to say, okay, we want to be involved in this. It sounds like a good idea. It sounds like something I would take a risk on. And we, from our phone, we could just touch a button and say, okay, I'm going to put $100 down as an investment on this. You know what I mean? Because it might make a couple of 100%, you know, over a 6-7 months period or whatever, you know. And once we can do that, I think it will set the stage for our answer to our situation, because it is the masses that have the power. No matter what, they can't wipe us out, but it's the masses that got the power. So if we don't use that power, and let me know if I'm overdoing this, if I'm going too much time, but we got that power, so we got to use that power. We got to take the blinds off right now and realize we've been manipulated. We've been beat. We've been, just because of what we was blessed with. But this time around, we want what we was blessed with. Everything. We want what's under the ground, we want what's on top of the ground, and we want above the ground. It's ours. And if we don't fight for it, you know, everybody already know we weak. We got to listen to it. It don't work like that no more. You know, we got to take control of what we have, right? And before I turn over, I'm going to give you an example of something. I'm going to give you an example of Kenya, right? Kenya is on the chopping block, right? Kenya is sold. There's a buyer for Kenya. Whoever it is, there's a buyer for Kenya, right? But they got to find a way to get these people out of the way. These Gen Zs that can see what's going on because the cards are on the table. These people can see what's going on, but they can't get them out of the way because it's not a half of Kenya or a political party or somebody this is affecting. It's affecting the whole Kenya, and they realize it. So there wasn't. It was a unity. They came together, and they said it ain't happening, right? But the forces Kenya is dealing with is pretty strong. You know what I mean? And I'm like, especially somewhere like Kenya, Zimbabwe, South Africa, that's really, really under the headlock. We gotta intervene. They're simple. They want to take the land from the Kenyan farmers. They want to put a lot of obstacles in front of them. They want to say, hey, you gotta purchase, you gotta get it certified, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. They can't afford it. Right? Like King was saying, it's subsistent agriculture. Can't afford it. So they're gonna default and they're gonna take the land and give it to who they want to give it to. Yeah. We can stop it. We can intervene, we can come in and say, hey, this farmer, we'll support your farm, and in exchange for something, we can do it. And if we don't, we're gonna be in trouble. You know what I mean? I'll turn it back over. I don't want to be trampling too much on the the mic.
No, you're good. Right now is a great time for us to pause for a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back after this. Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in and joining us. As always, we got a really great show going on. Brother Clyde gave us some wonderful information, and we're seeing how passionate he is and how important this platform is to be able to highlight leaders like himself. And so I would like to give the floor to Brother King, because I would like for Brother King to be able to respond to some of the wonderful things that Brother Clyde was saying and some of the things that he's doing. So go ahead, Brother King.
Thank you so much, Mr. Timothy. Hearing Brother Clyde is just so refreshing, and I was taking note of some of the points that he was making, and one of the questions I want to ask him is based on trust. Mr. Clyde, what is that one thing that you think the Black race will do in order for them to be able to trust each other? Because if we look at our major problem, you just spoke about Walmart. We are more comfortable trusting other people than we can trust our own. In fact, here in South Africa, if we start a business or if we start an organization and there is no white person on the board of trustees, many people will not trust what you're doing. And in fact, they will show you in the face that if it is only Black people, then it's not going to go anywhere. So my question to you is that how are we going to be able to trust one another? And don't get me wrong, most of the times there is a reason why our people cannot trust each other, because they have been screwed over by the people that looks like them over and over, and people that do not look like them, they actually stand a chance to be trusted more than people that look like them. So my question to you, and you got to know that a lot of people watch our our stuff here. And when I heard you explain the steps of investing in the African agricultural market. If you could answer me, what can we do in order to trust each other, and how can people trust what you're saying to a point that they can say, "Here is my $1,000. I can invest in it just like I can invest in Walmart. I can invest in it just like I can invest in any a white person's company." Please, can you throw more light on that for me and the rest of the people watching us?
Sure. That's a great question. That actually is a really, really interesting point you're making in the question. And just to be clear, I don't trust Walmart. I don't trust GM. I don't trust, that's General Motors, I mean, car. I don't trust none of them. But they got regulations. They got constraints. They got things into place. They put guardrails into place. Hey, if you do this, this is going to happen. You know what I mean? And so every country's got a system that we can actually utilize instead of just like, hey, give me a handshake and this. It don't work like that no more, because it's not an issue of trust. It's an issue of confidence. Why I'm going to have confidence in this? Because there's some people who's going to think about, hey, because you're this color, then we don't need them. But it's basically about the can this be edited? I'm so sorry. Can this be edited? Bryce. I'm so sorry. Can this be edited?
Yeah,
Not
you
a
good.
problem. Yeah, no problem, Mr. Clyde. It's
Should
a
I continue
pre-recorded
or should
show.
I start over?
Yeah, you can start all over answering the questions. It's a pre-recorded show. Timothy always edit anything that is not like this one. You will only view it next week, Sunday.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
So let me start over. I know I'm not going to be able to get everything, but let me say,
Yeah.
I don't. First, let me say this. It's a good question. It's a good point you brought up, but I want to say to you off the bat, I do not trust Walmart. I do not trust General Motors. I do not trust any of them. It's not about trust. It's about having the constraints, the guardrails, the legal ramifications if you're going to do something or whatever it is. It's about having a company, not just these individuals. We gotta do it where it's official, right? You can't. Nobody's just gonna say, "Hey, I'm gonna invest in this market, this farm, or whatever," you know, without knowing that there are, steps to be taken to say, well, I got confidence to go into it because these people wouldn't want this to happen, so they wouldn't do this, you know? So it is about setting up an infrastructure, right? Setting up parameters and guidelines before you say, hey, we're just going to be open and just do everything just like that. We got to set it up. You know what I mean? Maybe in South Africa, there might have to be an organization which these farmers might be able to come through to validate them and to verify what they're doing, you know, because it's trust, but even if it's trust, you got to be able to verify, right? So to answer your question, we don't play with trust. It's not about trust. It's about the risk factor getting lower, you know, and the benefit is so much that it's harder to resist, right? The integrity of the system itself, right? So we got to make that infrastructure. We got to put that in place. It's not going to be in Sierra Leone. Yes, yeah, actually, we registered a company. We have all paperwork. We have contracts with these the people in the villages. I got a contract where the village who was saying, well, we're going to stay off the land so you can cultivate the land. It's got about 40 signatures, and some people can't write, so they put a thumbprint on the paper, right? Because that's legal, it's binding, right? And so they know they did something legal and binding. We know we did, and we made an agreement which we have to carry out, and they have an agreement which we have to carry out. So it all comes down to it. Make it where it's safe. And if you don't think that you can trust it because of a color of people, it's not for you. Bottom line.
We talked about this before, Brother Clyde, and I was just mentioning earlier, it's all about the paperwork. You gotta have the paperwork in place. The brother was talking, what he's talking about is insurances.
Right.
And people don't have faith in our leadership and our people because they've seen so much failed leadership in the past. So we got to give people faith. We got to let them know that it's not just Africans working. It's like people working all over the world is working on the behalf of Africa. And what I was, what I was telling Brother Clyde before is what we want to do. We want to take what America's doing and mimic that. You know, like he was saying, Walmart has what they call checks and balances in place because America has checks and balances in place to assure and ensure people that everything's going to be all right. If you're going to take any loss, we got you covered. And I always teach this about the difference between cryptocurrency. Remember I was telling you about cryptocurrency and digital currency. Digital currency is centralized, which means it's connected to the banking system. Cryptocurrency isn't connected with the banking system, so it doesn't have any insurances. But yet people invest in that, you know, and if they lose their money, they don't have any insurance, any type of way to get their money back. But the digital currency, on the other hand, is connected with the bank. So if you invest in the digital currency, your money is secure. If you lose your money, they're gonna reinsure and give you your money back because those are the checks and balances they have in place to allow people and make people more comfortable with investing. So you got to have all these checks and balances in place to create faith and give people the faith in what you're doing. You just got to let people, show people that you know what you're doing. But like I was telling the brother before, don't nothing starts until you put things on paper and get things in contract form. And we can't worry about the naysayers. We have too many people that we're working with the tribes and the chiefs and the people over here in America that are interested in helping our people. So we can't worry about the people who's like, what about this? What about that? Or those that don't have faith. It's like they say when they say, if you build it, they will come. We just got to keep doing what we're doing, and then people will have faith in us.
True. That makes a lot of sense.
Like they say, they got to see it to believe it.
Yeah, that's true.
So what we were talking about also is they have what they call a working model. You need a test market. So we start somewhere, like he already started in Sierra Leone, and he spoke about the yield. He spoke about the results and all the potential, you know, and that people could invest in. If he had more help, it'll be more of a yield. It'll be more money coming back. So it's like with Sierra Leone, we can show what he was talking about, which is the benefit. People want to see the benefit, which has to be on paper. You know, we have to tell people on paper, this is the benefit, and then make our investors happy. with the return on investment. So all these things are already in place in Sierra Leone with the things he's doing. That could be the working model that we're using as the test mark to show people that this is working. And I'm going to share that clip what you were talking about earlier, the stuff that you were doing with Sierra Leone and the people over there with the farmers and the yield and how the numbers you were saying. That's what we needed for him to say stuff like that so we can show people over here in America, look, this brother's already doing the work. Listen to what he's saying. That gives people more faith because it ain't something what they call a pie in the sky. This is what I want to do, but we got to wait years to do it, or we got to figure out a way to do it. No, he's already doing it.
Exactly.
That's what gives people faith, is when they see somebody already doing it, and it's what they call a working model. It's working. It's already tried and proven already. That's what America goes by. Something that's tried and proven already. They don't want to hear you talk like that's what I was learning when I was promoting events. People want to see the benefits. They want to see a working model, something that's been tried and proven already. They don't want to just hear you talk. That's it. So go ahead, Brother Fazan. You can respond to what the brother was saying.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And anybody who is watching, and it makes it more easier for them to believe and have that much confidence to invest in what Brother Clyde and other great African people all over the world are doing. Because at the end of the day, he speaks about how they've started and what just few of them are able to do. The question he posed, and it's a very strong question, is if 3 of them can do that, how much more can 20 people do? And if you are watching us right now and you want to be part of what these great people are doing, it's something beyond just us as individuals. Is actually something for the benefit of the whole nation. And for you to be part of that, the benefits are beyond just making money. The benefits are people being free. There is nothing that restricts a human being than economic restriction. So in Africa, what we have is political freedom. We can vote. We can vote in a leader. We can whatever. But then now, if you do not have economic freedom, you do not have freedom at all. So at the end of the day, my joy is that people all over the world are actually seeing what is happening in Africa, and our brothers in the diaspora are actually beginning to wake up. And this is the core. Any of our brothers in the diaspora watching this, they should be motivated about what people like Mr. Timothy, Mr. Clyde are doing, and most of the people that we bring here on this show are doing. And ask yourself, how what part can I play here? Even if it means that encouraging them, how am I going to encourage them in order to for them to keep up with what they are doing and all of that. So from my side is actually just gratitude that and my encouragement for any of our brothers and sisters in the diaspora watching this is that join people like this and make it count. I always say something, and this is not flattery. This is so true. The strongest and the most powerful Black people are the African Americans. And I am not saying this to make them feel anything, because I'm telling you, the money that you use for your groceries and all of that can actually do something big in Africa. I'm telling you. And what Clyde say is that if 3 of them can actually cultivate 300 acres of land, just tell me how many acres of land will be cultivated if just 50 people There was a time I put together 50 people here on the continent. I told them that all of us will bring 2,000 rand. That is our money. I think 2,000 rand in dollars is 100 rand. Sorry, it's $100. $100 is up to 2,000 rand. So I say that if every of us could put 2,000 rand, we were 50 of us. We have that group, and we say that we're gonna put 2,000 rand together to make up to I think 100,000 rand. And with 100,000 rand, we can actually cultivate a very big. And now we started it. We started it, and we contributed the money, and we started with cultivating vegetables. Then but these were crops that we can cultivate them 3 times in a year, and that you could see that it could turn. That we did it first time. The second time, people got greedy, and you understand. So as I hear you guys explain about paperwork, I think it shouldn't just be about trust. It should be about, like, this is how things are done here. And if you cannot follow the protocol or the procedure of how things are done here, you are out. So, like, in a nutshell, what I'm saying is that there is just no stopping us. If we come together and work, there will be no stopping at all. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just looking up the legal term that I was thinking of earlier. It's called arbitration, and I'm pretty sure Brother Clyde knows about that. The arbitration is like what holds you accountable. So, like, say, like in Nigeria or Sierra Leone, wherever you're working at, there's always a court, you know. So you'd be like, that's what you need, Brother King Fajan, to know, is like the arbitration process, which we'll send you a contract so you can see, like, in every contract, like right before the signature is the arbitration clause. Explain it. If you don't follow these steps, we're going to take you to court. And then, like, when people break those type of contracts, usually nobody wants to deal with them again. Exactly. And they know that's really detrimental to their future. Not just in the business, but to their whole future, their family, because once people cut you off, that's like being cut off from the kingdom of God. Like, how are you going to feed your family now? How are you going to make a living for yourself once you break these arbitration clauses? Nobody's going to trust you anymore. So this is the process that we need to bring to Africa that is, like you say, it doesn't sound like you guys have. And it's a fundamental thing over here in America. It's like everybody knows about the paperwork. You don't want to deal with people unless you have a contract, because, like, you're wasting your time. You could easily get robbed, and all your ideas stolen. People just run off. We even have NDAs. We have all kind of different contracts. Like we said earlier, called checks and balances, to keep people intellectual property protected, like your ideas from getting stolen. So that's another reason why we love America so much, is because of the checks and balances. And that's why I learned that all these different countries, they not only love America, but they fear America because of all the checks and balances that America has in place. And that's why I want to mimic what America is doing, because I know checks and balances is what went into why we have a constitution. America checks and balances all started with the United States Constitution, and why they call it a living document, because it could always change to fit whatever current time that we're living in. So if anything ever rises, in America, that it's like the majority feels that this is what we're going to go by. That's why we have a constitution. We could change and say, this is what we're going by. And that's all part of America's democracy, which is another reason I was telling the brother before, the premise of this show is the importance of America's democracy. And so in these countries, like I say, Nigeria, South America, Sierra Leone, wherever we don't have this at, we're hoping to have a democracy. If not, try to implement a democracy so that we can have these type of checks and balances in place. Because the democracy is what allows us to have these checks and balances in place. You can't have these checks and balances in place with a dictatorship and these other type of feudal system of king, a monarchy or something like that. You can't have these checks and balances because what they say go.
Yeah.
So anything else you want to say, Brother Clyde?
Sure, I could go on forever.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so just to make a point, right? In Sierra Leone, and I'm not making a pitch, but I'm making a point. In Sierra Leone, in 2 weeks or in about a week, we had permission to use 6,000 acres of land, our contract to use 6,000 acres of land. And aside from that, one of the land is 1,000 acres. It's got its own water supply, and it's got a processing plant on it that's not been used for 40 years. A rice processing plant with lots of storage. It's real. It's beautiful, right? It's got storage. It's got everything, but it's outdated. You know, it needs like they throw the rice on the ground to get it dried. So when they process it, the rice is not clean. It's got some stones in it, and and you gotta take it out when you gonna make your meal or stuff like that. But there's a lot of new things right now where you don't need to do that, but it costs money. But what I'm trying to say is this, right? And I throw something in the air about how much we could do. 6,000 acres of land, just for the record. Its potential in we can grow more than once per year with the climate and everything. But the potential in one crop is going to be over 40 million pounds. If you do kilograms, it's going to be close to 20 million kgs, right? So we went from 5 acres 1 year, and we didn't pull the profit out. We just take the seeds, the rice, and transplant them. But the seeds was valued, well, actually it was about 20,000 pounds, right? And I was putting a value at about $6,000, $7,000, and the input was probably 1,800. But we went from that to 250 acres. And I'm confident from 250 acres, we can go to 6,000. But there's one thing that is gold in Africa, apart from the gold itself. This is gold. This is, you can consider this one of the best investments you can make when it comes to African agriculture, right? It's tractors, it's harvesters, it's mechanism. That is gold. That right there. I don't know if y'all saw this protest on when France was having a protest with their farmers, and they was driving all these tractors on the road in protest. That need to be in Africa, like 50 times over. It's so important that, like what King is talking about. Let me just keep on what we're trying to do. We're trying to amass as many tractors and attachment that goes with those tractors to do the work. We're trying to amass as much as possible, even more than what we really need on our farm, because what we can do is to farm an agricultural, like an organization where people working together. the tractors don't have to just work on one farm. It can go different places, a lot of different places, and do a lot of work, right? So yeah, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is the tractors, they're golden, right? We want to set up, because I want to go to Sierra Leone before this year is done. God bless, I want to be there, right? Because I want to set up agriculture, like a co-op, if I may say that, right? Where we can work together, because like King was saying, his father is a subsistent farmer, but from what I'm gathering, he could actually, he probably was able to do more, but couldn't do more because he was constrained, because he just got to do manual, right? Because that's
Exactly.
the case with a lot of places, a lot of people that I met. The land is there, but they can't utilize, to the fullest, right? So we want to go and work with these people, you know, percentile basis, and work with them to make it better for them. It's still a benefit for us. We want to go beyond that and start building some really nice farmers market, that you don't just grow your crop, but you got somewhere to trade, to sell them. It's a beautiful farmers market. When these people go in, they can feel like, yes, I'm somewhere feeling comfortable, and this is my work. This is my input. You know what I mean? This didn't come from Europe. This is me. This is ours. You know what I mean? That's what I want to do. That's my vision, right? And I'm going to be bold enough to say I want to be a template, right, for what's possible. I'm already in it. My feet is in it already. I'm experiencing stuff. I'm seeing stuff from a different perspective, because we made mistakes here. We got to resolve them there. We know more about what we want, what we need, and how it can be better, because of the fact that we're there already. There's a lot of people discouraging me, or try to, by saying how Africans are, and what Africans will do, and I'm saying to them, listen, you need to talk about Africans, you're talking about me. Don't say it. It ain't worth it. Right? We're not that. There is, my mom used to say, in every house, you gotta, let me put it, there's a toilet. That's
Yeah.
not how she said it though. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But, you know, I'm in the USA. There's a lot of crap that goes on, you know, but you gotta search, you gotta find the right thing, the right ways. And like Mr. Tim saying, hey, you gotta have the guardrails, you know what I mean? You gotta do it right. And yes, I do believe that in every state or country, and not just one, we have to have a organization that dedicate themselves to make sure what we're doing is legitimate. What everybody's doing is trustworthy and worthwhile, because that's where the confidence come in, right? And the insurance thing, that's a big deal. You can do it, that would be fine. But there's one thing you said, King, and it means a lot. When you build it, they'll come, right? So we need to have that infrastructure. That's what we need to do. We need to have people with a mind that's a little bit bigger than mine, or a few more minds that can come together and make a good plan, an infrastructure, compared to what we got. We can work with it. We need the infrastructure. We need to be able to invest in Africa from every angle, right? In all capacity. Because if we don't, somebody's gonna do it for us.
Exactly.
Right.
That, that's what I I see, like, that puts me in a great position because I love all Africans. I don't discriminate against a Nigerian, a Ghanaian, or I love all African. I hate Africans that discriminate against other Africans. And we had a talk about this with me and Brother King. That's pure insanity to me for an African to hate another African. It's a retarded mindset, that we need to eradicate. And like we're in a good position because of how you say, oh, if there's not a white person on there, then it's not going to go anywhere. We could use all that negativity into something positive. And I don't think it's a bad thing. I like to always go back to scripture, but it's why Jesus said, whose face is on that coin? So it's like all the Europeans want to do is be able to feed their families just like we want to feed our families. So if I got brothers from the chief that we had on the show before, he contacted me years ago, just called me in the middle out the blue. It's like Samoa wants to do trade with African farmers. And he said, I know that you know a lot of Africans and you're connected with a lot of powerful people in Africa. Can you make that happen? And I said, sure. Next thing I know, they own gold mine in Ghana, and they're my friends in South Africa, the sister who we had on the show, the Sister Queen, they had them set up to buy platinum mines in Africa, in South Africa, but they said they've been talking to the Samoans been talking to our people in South Africa for 4 years. So he said he talked to them every day now for like the last 4 years, because they plan to invest more in South Africa. So when people say, oh, if you don't have any white people on the board or anything like that, it doesn't go nowhere. We're going to use all that to our advantage because Africa is not called the motherland for nothing. The Black woman gave birth to mankind, which is all races of people. So we can't discriminate against any race. We have to accept the fact that they're going to discriminate against us no matter what we do, good or bad. We're going to be discriminated against. It's not our right. It's not our job. It blocks our blessings to discriminate against anyone. So we're going to use all this negativity and that's what my organization is about, turning negativity into positivity, because that's the only way to build God's kingdom. We're going to take a quick break and come back right after this commercial break.
Here, our co-founder, Lamarna Barry, has emphasized the need for mechanization in the development of Sierra Leone's agricultural sector. The same issue reverberates throughout the continent of Africa, and the solution is actually in the hands of you and I. We are reaching out to the African community to join forces to achieve food security and prosperity in Sierra Leone and throughout the African continent. The land in the video can easily produce 50 million pounds of rice per year. We are proposing 50% of the monetary value of the yield to contributors in accordance to their contribution towards our project. This may surprise you, but the 80 horsepower Chinese made farm tractor in the picture is way below $6,000 brand new. The disc plow, the disc harrow, and the rice planter box are also all below $1,500. The company will be more than happy to recommend the manufacturers and sellers of the equipment under the understanding that these equipments will be shipped to Sierra Leone under a contractual agreement with Afri Management Solutions.
Welcome back, everyone. We have some real good information as always that we hope that you not only enjoy, but you take in and you share with our people, because we're doing some wonderful things with some wonderful people, not just talking. So we want to segue back into what we were talking about with South Africa and the division amongst our people. We always like to try to erase the hate amongst our people and figure out what can we do about our people being so divided. So I want to start with you, Brother Clyde. Um, what do you think we could do to stop some of the division amongst our people?
Yeah, that's a good question. Um, the whole point of power from the people that come and oppressed us is divide and conquer. That's the only way to do this. When you have hundreds of thousands, hundreds of million, billion people, the only thing you can do is put them against each other, right? And that will work for you. Well, right now, the problem is with us that we got to fix because we dividing ourselves right now. It's like they put us on a slide down the hill and just tucked us, and we going down ourselves right now. We got to stop this because it's affecting everybody. It's affecting us in the diaspora. We doing it. It's affecting the brothers on the continent, right? And what it's going to take is for few conscious minds, right, to start making long-term plans. You're not going to tell somebody, oh, stop doing this, and they're going to stop. It don't work like that, right? You got to implement something. You got to be a leader with wisdom in terms of like, make me stop. You know what I mean? It's not say stop. I'm doing something for you to realize that I might as well not do this. And that's what a good leader is going to do, right? And when I talk about a leader, it can't be just one person, because that's the reason why Thomas Sankara, Muhammad Gaddafi, and my favorite, Idi Amin. I mean, that's why they really wasn't successful, because they were alone, right? What we gotta have, right, is a unity. What we gotta have is a pack, right, where we working with each other, and it can't start Africa wide. It's gonna have to start with us, a couple of people, or a few people with the same mindset, to start implementing things that the whole region, the whole of us gonna see, right? To know that might as well we go that way, right? You build it, they'll come. I'll talk about this like an app where people can invest in Africans. If somebody sees that can happen right in South Africa, they own 10% of the land. But if we see and we can show a South African that with that 10% of the land, it's not a little bit, it's a lot, but it's not enough. We can actually make it possible where we can start growing the economy right there with the help of people who's not imposing on you. Because I understand a lot of little things with South Africans. It's a lot of mental issues, right? In terms of like a mindset that everybody want to take what they got, which they don't have, and do whatever and focus on your own country. But if we can actually focus on them for their benefit, with a mutual benefit, and say, okay, like we say, we'll help you get this farm up, right? We'll help you get this farm and spread the news. And when we get to a point where that 10% is maxed out, and the farmers that are 10% in theory see, wow, this is a benefit, but we ain't got no more, we can't expand ourselves anymore, right? Because in doing that, they're going to be able to take more control over the economy, but they got to have somebody to work with. And then when you see you can't go anymore, you're going to start pushing the walls out. You know what I mean? You're going to start trying to get what you know is yours to benefit you, because you see, because there's one thing they use on these people right there. When you get the land, what you going to do with it?
Exactly.
And a lot of people buy into it. You're right. So keep feeding us. But like I said, a tractor is gold in Africa. It's gold. It's more precious than gold, right? If we invest in those tractors, right, and do what we got to do, you know what I mean? A lot of people understand the subsistence farming. It's going to be a different. It's going to make a change. And there's one thing I want to share with Black people. I want to share with African, right? That a tractor, for example, we purchasing tractors right now, right? And the cost of the tractor is less than $20,000 with shipping. The cost of the tractor itself, a tractor, 80 horsepower, is less than $5,000. It might not be the best tractor in the world, but it's enough. Less than 5,000. And I want to tell the world, everybody with this melon, I want to let them know, because we don't think that. We think something else. It's less than $5,000. The implements like the road, the other stuff that till the land and stuff, it might come up to like $10,000 with the tractor, the ones you need, the implements, and shipping costs from China. You know what I mean? It depends on how many you can put into a container. But a tractor is affordable, and it's gold. We had to pay somebody with a 50 horsepower tractor 100. We made a deal with them. We're gonna pay you $140 every day till you get the feel that till you do the amount. It took a week because it was a small tractor. But that person earned $140. Well, you could take some money out of that for the fuel. You know what I mean? And it's $140 for a week, right? In Sierra Leone. That's golden. We wanted him back because we said we could do some more. He said, I would love to, but I got so much that I gotta do. I can't. Right? That's how serious a tractor is. We can't even get him back. Right? So what I'm trying to say to the people, man, this is not expensive and it's golden. And if I can't do it by myself, but two friends of mine, they're Black Americans. They're the one who works with me. You know what I mean? They're my friends. They're the one. Hey, this is a multinational corporation. You know what I mean? The four major players are USA born, Jamaican, and Sierra Leone. We came together. We start purchasing these things so the people in Sierra Leone can benefit from it, and we're benefiting also, right? And this is what I want to sink in, that you know, it's going to take for us to make it to realize that, King, you're no different from me. Tim, you're not different from me. We from different geographical part of the country where we was born. That's just the branches. We don't care about that, right? If Africa is not respected, I'm not respected.
Exactly.
If somebody in Africa in South Africa believe that a white person is better than them, it reflects on me, right? So it's my problem also, and it's my benefit also, right? So, and I'm gonna say one more time before I get the mic over, a tractor is dirt cheap in China. If you want to know more about it, I'm more than, because I want it so bad for people to understand this and understand the power of like tractors. It's dirt cheap. It's dirt cheap. We need 1 million of them in Africa.
Yeah. I know they've been asking me for years for farming equipment. So I know the power of the investment and also the return. There's great potential for people. It don't even matter if you're greedy. This is a good opportunity for you too. So that's why I
Yeah.
love when Jesus said, "Whose face is on their dollar?"
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because it doesn't matter if you're greedy. It only matters of your soul.
Mm.
You know? So if like you want to invest, invest. If you love money, invest. But
Mhm.
you're not gonna be holding our people down and keeping our people from feeding our people forever. And we've been holding a lot of meetings about this. And I see that a lot of great things are in the future, in the near future. You know, we don't have to wait for another 5 years for these tractors anymore. I promise you that. We don't even have to wait like one whole year for tractors to start coming. And so, just with the people that I know and the people that I've been talking to, great things are coming real soon. I hope that you do make that trip to Sierra Leone this year because that's going to be real instrumental in the work we're doing moving forward. Because when the new year hit, I want to start the new year off hitting the ground running. Like here, go, go, go. You know, let's do this. You know, what is the tractors needed? But I think what we should be doing right now, what I keep telling Brother King, we need to get these contracts. We need to get them signed. You know, we need to get the farmers on board signed with these agreements because that's what got the project started in these other countries that are about to receive the funding is because they signed the contracts. Without these contracts, money can't flow the way you want it to flow, especially from America or anywhere outside of Africa. Money's not going to flow the way you want it to flow like water. It can flow like water if you got the right paperwork in place. And so I want to help Brother Clyde with the app that he's been talking about. I'm going to call my people that I know with the currency that we created to help with the app because I want to try to leverage the currency that we created, the digital currency that I was talking about with this app to make it even more valuable. You know, like it's like say like with the yield that they're talking about on the return they're talking about on the yield, it could be like a double investment where you're not just investing in the crops, but you're also investing in this currency. And by investing in this currency as well, you know, you're going to get a return off the crop and you'll get a return off the currency. Can't nobody else offer this because we're in control of our own currency. So we're in a great place. God put it on my heart like over 20 years ago and started giving me visions on how to build God's kingdom. I started writing it down. And I learned once you start writing it down, your dreams, that's when your dreams start coming true. So I've been doing this for over 20 years. And now we have funding to invest on the team that I'm on. They put me in position to where I'm on a team where they're about to start investing in just the thing that we're talking about. I can't say too much, you know, because I don't want to be off the team, you know. But I'm just putting it out there that all the things that we're talking about is now about to start coming to fruition, all because we're not just talkers, we're doers. Brother King, anything you want to else add before we go?
No, I'm just so happy that I could connect um two of you, because I know for sure that you will love what Mr. Clyde is doing. And for those who are watching us, um, our community of viewers are great people who appreciate what we're doing. And I just call on each and every one of you to jump on that opportunity that is presented to us today. Just like Mr. Timothy said, if you like money, it will benefit you. And if you like people, it will also benefit you. So it is just a win-win. And I just look forward that one day Mr. Clyde, we said we got more tractors than we needed because people just came through. Thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate.
One of the things I want to add is like when I talk about the people over here, the brothers and sisters that hold these meetings, they also hold meetings with our brother Chief Albert from Samoa. Based upon the fact when I told you earlier how Samoa want to do trade with the African farmers, Samoa's been in the meetings to do trade with African farmers, So that's what I say. It's not just talk, These talks has led to people from different nations coming together to build God's kingdom. Because I don't even have to say anything. People I never even talked to say we're kingdom building. We never had a conversation, but we got the same like mind that we're kingdom building. So now we can call ourselves kingdom builders. So, Brother Clyde, I want you to let people know where to find you at, your organization, like your Facebook, your contact and all that, so that people could contact you in case they want to invest or know more about your organization.
Hey, my Facebook page is Afri Management Solution. Just do my WhatsApp for now. It's 310-699-0358. We got a ways to go. We have a Facebook page, but I don't remember. I'm gonna have to get back with the information to it. We're building a website, but we're slow at it. We focusing on what we can. So, that's behind right now. So, right now my WhatsApp is 310-699-0358. But I'm not in no debating or nothing like that. If we're serious about something, we can always talk.
I could build your website like in less than a week. But when you were speaking earlier, I was wondering if you had something called Afri Management Investments or something like that. But by it being called Afri Management Solutions, it's also the same type of situation. We don't need to create an Afri Management Investments, because it's Afri Management Solutions, which, people could invest. So I want to.
You said it earlier, right? You ever been guided and knocked off one platform to another, and when you look at it, it's like, wow, that's what I really needed. That wasn't our name. That wasn't the name we went for. We went for Africulture Solution. But when we did it, it was taken already. And then when we got this name, I'm like, you know what? This is not a bad idea, because when you talk about Afri Management, it almost sounds like a portfolio for
investments.
Right, right. You know what I mean? So yeah, you saw through it too. So I'm like, I didn't really set it up like that, but that's really what we needed. And that's what it kind of, we jump out the frying pan into the fire, and that's what it is.
Yeah, because you can manage those investments for African solutions. So that's why I like the term "there's power in the name," and it's also marketing. When the people hear Afri Management Solutions, they think, oh, money. And a lot of people with money are going to think investments. That's why That's what marketing is. Being able to put these two and two together in the most simplistic form. So you don't have to explain too much. People could just be like, "Oh, I know what that is. I want to invest."
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, yeah. And that's where we're at. That's why I keep saying I want to create a website page. I want to be part of that because it's needed and it's also beneficial to what we're doing moving forward. And another thing before we go, one of the partners that I keep talking about that helped created the currency that we have, he went to school to get his insurance license. So everything that we're talking about is highly possible. There's nothing stopping us. All we have to do is just keep moving forward because we have those insurances in place. Like when we speak, we're speaking reality. We're not speaking about things we want to do or no pie in the sky ideas. You know? We're talking about hard facts, actual things that we're actually doing to help our people move forward and create a greater Africa than people could even imagine. Brother King, I want you to tell people about your book, where they can find you at, and where they can get your book at before we go.
Oh yeah. Right now, if you are not in South Africa, I think the only place you can find my books is on Amazon. And the few books that I have written, I've published 7 of different books. They cover different subjects. And the ones that I am promoting right now is called Stop Confusing Africa to Religion, the 40 Voters Commandment, a guide to American democracy, and Results or Failure. Results of Failure is actually a motivational book, and Seeds of Failure is also a motivational book. And Christianity is not a white man religion, is controversial book. But in a nutshell, the reason why I'm writing these books, so many of them, is because I feel like I should get people understand the real struggle of Africa in so many facets. And the reason why I write inspirational books is to inspire, especially what we're going through on the continent, my people, my young people on the continent, what we're going through. It will just take determination beyond imagination for us to achieve anything. So I always love to encourage young people. These are not big books. Some of them, they are just like 200 or 300 pages and all of that. So, and I feel like I cannot be able to reach as many young people with my message, but my book can actually reach the places that I cannot reach myself. So in as much as I'm having challenges with my bank account, anybody that purchases anything that belongs to me now, I cannot get any money. It is okay, but since they can get the knowledge and all of that, and hence I always say that if a young person want to read my books and they do not have the funds to get it, you can just WhatsApp me or send me an email. I will just forward a soft copy to you, because to me, I know I need money, but then I need my people to know what is going on more than I need money. So these are very powerful book, like the result or excuses. The result or excuses. I just actually elaborate how it is easy for us to give excuses for our failures, and how easy it is for people to like say, okay, cool, this was the reason why I failed. But the harsh reality is that nobody cares to know why you failed, but everybody cares to know how you succeeded. So it is better to give results more than excuses. Thank you.
Yeah. Before I go, I remember there was a video that I'm gonna try to put as a commercial as well about a brother from America who went to South Africa, and one of the white Afrikaans was telling this black brother, that he doesn't belong there.
Exactly.
This was a white guy telling a black man that he doesn't belong in South Africa.
Now they tell
And
us
he
every
needs
day.
to go back.
Yeah, they tell us every day, you king, you do not even belong here in South Africa. You're making a lot of noise. And one day, we will, and sometimes these are people that looks like me, sometimes are people that don't look like me. And yeah, like you talking too much. We're gonna silence you one day. It is scary though, but and for me, I always believe that I'm part of something bigger than my emotions of fear, my emotions of whatever. I can't just stop my message. It doesn't matter how hard I try, I cannot. I was supposed to stop a long time ago when people that I'm speaking for begin to turn against me. But I think, like we say, we are doing God's work. And if we're doing God's work, you don't have option but to do it if He's the one that calls you.
Yeah, I mean, if you're doing God's work, whoever against you is doing the devil's work.
Exactly.
So that's all you're gonna be like, I'm doing God's work. So you're working for the devil. That's all you got to tell them, and make.
Exactly.
That's why knowledge is power, and if you inject the power of God in somebody, because like I always say, I grew up in prison. You didn't know that, Brother Clyde, but I grew up at the prison until I was 35 years old. And so, but in prison, they never wanted to do anything to me because of how I walked with God. I didn't just go to prison for out here like doing stuff. I went to prison because I hated this white man society that was oppressing our people. And so I felt like our ancestors built this stuff. I'm not buying nothing. I'm robbing everything. I'm going to these stores. I used to have carloads of people walking in stores and walking out with stuff. I used to cause riots out here in San Diego, and wherever I go, we used to go robbing like the Asian stores, the corporations. We walk in there. I even got arrested one time inside of a store because I went in there because I was the leader. I would go in there and take something, and then everybody else would come in and like, yeah, let's go, or we just will go in and we'll take some and we'll look at the owner and walk out, and the owners wouldn't do nothing. But one time when I did get arrested, how they take you in the back room and I was in handcuffs. And I remember sitting there thinking I was about to go to jail. They came in, hey man, we need you to go out here and talk to the people, and we're gonna let you go because the people are threatening to burn the building down. This was a major mall. It wasn't just a department store. This was a mall with a lot of department stores, and they was like, we just need you to go out here and calm down this mob that's threatening to burn the place down if we don't let you go. And so that's what I did. And they let me go because I work for God. God puts fear in your enemies' hearts. And when you're doing things for the people, you know, really doing things, you don't know that you're surrounded by angels. So I just learned, like, when I'm doing things for God, the devil sees the angels that surrounded me. He don't want nothing to do with me.
That's true.
So that's why I'm bold in what I do, especially over here in America. I don't care where I go. I'm bold when I walk with God, and people think, "Oh, you're arrogant. No, I know that God has His hand over me, just like He had His hand over Jesus, how He had His hand over Noah, how He had His hand over Job when the devil tried to tempt Job, how He had His hand over Jonah when Jonah was in the belly of the beast for three days. So that's why we got these stories in the Bible. Daniel's in the lion's den. you know, come on. Samson and Goliath. I mean, David and Goliath when David battled the giant. These stories are not in the Bible for nothing. These stories in the Bible tell us we don't have to fear. No, that's it. That's all. So if neither one of you got anything else you want to add, we could go ahead and close the show out and thank everybody for tuning in.
Thank you.
So that's it for you, Brother Clyde. We could go ahead and your microphone is muted, Brother Clyde, if you want to say anything.
Yeah, I just want to say, you know, we can't just sit around as a people and be run over, right? When we got all the ability and all what we need to turn the ship around, but we got to start turning it around, and we got to start thinking long term, you know, and we got to actually start loving each other.
Yeah. And when I hear Brother King talk, it reminds me of why the white man fears us. What I learned from dealing with our people over here in America is that the white man fears our ignorance. The white man thinks that if we get power, because we don't know that when our people was great and our people was at the top of the food chain, we went around enslaving our own people and enslaving white people too. You know, when they talk about how the Moors or the Africans went and built Spain, they always talk about how the Moors, the Africans went and built Spain and all this and taught the white man this stuff. They didn't just go over there and build Spain. They went over there and conquered those people. Just like we say the white man took Africans into slavery, brought them over here and taught us the English and stuff, and do that all this, taught us. We did the same thing to them. So that's what they fear. They fear our ignorance, that not just, you know, because over here it's like, oh, they fear that our people is going to rob them. They fear we don't have anything, so we're going to come and take from them. So they need guns, and they need this and they need that to protect themselves. They need these security systems. They need communities boarded up and walled off, gated communities, they call them, to keep themselves safe because of our ignorance. But it's not our ignorance, it's that we're poor. We don't have the resources that we need to survive, you know? And I see in Memphis how the young people are acting out of desperation because of a lack of resources and a lack of opportunity. So that's what the brother Clyde was saying. We just need to love each other, and loving each other comes from investing in our people. That's it. That's all. Building schools to educate our people, trade schools to teach our people different trades and skills. And this is what's happening. And we don't have to wait 5 years. And thank God to be living in the times that we're living in, because we're the new kingdom builders for the next generation. And I want to thank you, brothers, for joining us. Thank you, Brother King, as always, for being a wonderful host, a co-host. Thank you, Brother Clyde, for joining us today and giving us this knowledge of what you're doing in Sierra Leone, and so that we can share it with people to invest. And I want to thank God for providing us with the opportunity like we never had before to be on a platform like this. And thank everyone for tuning in, and hope you tune in next time. Peace and love, peace and blessings, and we're out. Thank you.
Yeah, as you can see right behind me here, video side actually. As you can see right behind me here, this water is coming all the way from River Rokel. That Rokel River is one of the biggest river that we have here in Sierra Leone. So here, it's not only about rainy season. We can also do our planting during the dry season, because the water is here already, and this water is coming directly from the river. So we just need the machine. The facility are here, everything are here. Just look at the water. This is coming right from River Rokel. So thank you very much. We just need your support. Thank you very much, everyone.